characteristics of a failed state. Number one is when you're no longer in charge of your territory.
And as Chinua Achebe said, the problem of Nigeria is purely and essentially that of leadership.
Otherwise, if we get it wrong at this point in time, I don't know when we will ever get it right.
When Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu became the governor of Lagos State in 1999, there was only one ambulance in the service of the Lagos State government. Lagos was earning the princely sum of 700 million every month as our internally generated revenue. Now Lagos is earning 51 billion naira every month as its internally generated revenue. Lagos is the third largest economy in Africa, and the world is in transition. What is important for a Nigerian leader of the next dispensation must be a leader who has a mastery of financial management capabilities and someone who understands the Nigerian psychology, someone who appreciates and understands the complexity of the Nigerian nation. Here, you have a city boy who has transformed Lagos into a home for all. My brother seated here, he calls Lagos home, not Auka. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has established an excellent track record of performance. He has mentored men and women who are excelling in different fields of human endeavor. And the world is changing. And the trajectory of global growth is facing Africa, and Nigeria will make or mar that transition. And as Chinua Achebe said, the problem of Nigeria is purely and essentially that of leadership. Once we get the leadership question right, everything will fall into place. In this age when others are talking of artificial intelligence, when others are talking of nanotechnology or biotechnology, we need a leader who has the skill set, who has the understanding of the global economy to shepherd us in this age. And if you get one, you are getting one for free. He's the city boy. I am the golden boy of Zenith. In Jim Obia's world, the sole barometer for assessing people is your level of competence and your input. In the history of Zenith Bank, no one, I dare say, apart from the legendary Adaro Umeji, no one grew faster in the history of Zenith than my humble self. I have mentored men who are excelling in different fields of human endeavor. As I said earlier, the world is watching at us. And the ultimate measure of a man, as Martin Luther King said, is not why he stands at times of comfort and convenience, but why he stands at times of challenges and difficulties. I urge my learned colleagues here, my learned friends here, to be rational, to be firm. You should have the boldness and the courage to make informed decisions, not emotional decisions. Here we are, on the threshold of making history. In the United Kingdom, Rishi Sunak, a young man of Indian descent, is about to become the Prime Minister of Britain. I urge you all to align yourself with the aspirations of the APC candidate, fundamentally because of his competence. He has an established track record of performance. Lagos is now a tourist destination of choice in the West African sub-region. Lagos produces 75% of the bird collections in this country. Lagos has the bosom, has the generosity of spirit to embrace all. And we are going to recreate the Lagos experience all over the country. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I urge you, I beseech you, I call on you to use your rational sense of judgment. Make informed judgment on who you are going to vote for in the next dispensation. It's absolutely essential that you vote for competence, for capacity, for a leader who can lead us to the promised land. It's absolutely essential. Yes, I assure you, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the man to beat. Thank you so much, and may God bless us.
98, 99, Nigeria has never found itself in such a very, very critical joint in her history. Today, we have had all the negative indices as far as our country. Today, we are more disunited as a nation. We have never experienced this level of poverty. We have never experienced this state of insecurity. We have never experienced this level of unemployment. We have recognized all these negative developments in our history. What is important is how do we tackle these challenges. And this is where history and also experience beckon on us to make sure that we don't get it wrong at this point in time. Otherwise, if we get it wrong at this point in time, I don't know when we will ever get it right. I have been involved in the struggle to return democracy to this country from the military days. In fact, I can say I am even lucky to be alive. So many of my contemporaries have been murdered, have been killed in this struggle. But somehow, by the grace of God, by miracle, I have survived up to this point in time. And that's why in my brief introduction, I stated that there are 5 key areas that any leadership, forget about party, any leadership, whichever from political party, must confront these 5 issues. And I enumerated them. I said the unity of our country is very, very fundamental. And how do we achieve the unity of our country? Is by making sure that we give every part of this country a sense of belonging. And somebody asked me, how do you give every part of this country a sense of belonging? I referred them to the situation we found Nigeria in 1998-99 when we came into office. As a PDP party, we won overwhelmingly. We could go on and form our party, our government, just based on our majority. But we decided to shelve the majority and say, look, every political party must be part of our administration. And we formed a government of national unity. No sooner we formed the government of national unity, there was calm in the country. After the calm, what next? How do we move? Then the issue of the economy came in, the issue of security came in. Because we had a consensus, we had no problem dealing with the subsequent challenges. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we have had an experience, and it is that experience that I said must be brought back. Yes, must be brought back. It is only when you have this sense of belonging that you will be able to deal with, say, the issue of security. It is when you deal with the issue of security, then you will now come to the economy. My 5 points that I enumerated are all interrelated. From unity to security to economy to devolution of more powers. I am a product of devolved powers then. And I know what the regional governments achieved with those powers. So that's why I advocated for restructuring or development of powers to the states and the local governments. More resources, more powers to the states and also the local government. So my 5-point program was based on experience. They were based on something that I have seen, I have participated, and I felt went well for this country. So I'm not on a trial and error leadership. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to address you briefly at this annual conferences. I wish you every success in your deliberations. Thank you. God bless you.
I recognize the former Vice President of Nigeria and my leader, Atiku Abubakar. All other protocols duly. Mine is a very simple one. Let me start by thanking the organization for inviting me. As you know, I'm one of those strongest beneficiaries of the judiciary. For my strong legal team, for the work of my small legal team led by Dr. Onyechi Bazu, SAN, and let OJ Nadi, SAN, I wouldn't be standing here. You know that from my election petition to my impeachment to my tenure interpretation. And again, whenever people talk about corruption in the legal or in the judiciary, and one who takes exception, in all this journey, I did not give anybody 1 naira. So for me, I remain eternally grateful to you for what you did for me to be here and everything. Our topic today is democratic transition in the 21st century Nigeria, 2023 and beyond. I think it's for great people like you or people like Chimamanda I invited, but for me as a trader, I'll try to contribute in my own little way, the way I think we should go. For me, democracy have a simple description. Government of the people, by the people, for the people. That means everything about democracy is the people. And transition means changing from one thing to the other. And for me, Nigeria needs urgent transition from being a highly insecure country to a secure country, from a disunited country to a united country, from corruption to a transparent country, from a country of lawlessness to a country of law and order. But in all this, it is important that we look at where we are today for people to understand the gravity of the journey we are going to take if we are going to transit. Where are we today? Nigeria have qualified to be a failed state. We have met the 2 or 3 biggest characteristics of a failed state. Number 1 is when you're no longer in charge of your territory. Today, we are among the top terrorized countries of the world. We are among the top kidnapping countries of the world. Banditry, criminality, bandits have taken over some parts of this country. Nigerians are being killed daily. All sorts of criminality is going on daily. Even our most important source of foreign exchange revenue, oil, is today 80% stolen. That shows how bad it is. We are the only country, apart from Venezuela, who we know is their own is because of sanctions, that is not meeting up its OPEC quota. Every other country is begging for increase, but Nigeria is not meeting up its own. And you wouldn't believe the quantity that is missing. In July alone, our total average, our quota is 1.8 million. In July, our total average was 1,083,000 barrels a day. That means that in July, we lost 707,000 barrels per day. If you multiply that by 31 days, it will give you 22,227 barrels of oil that we lost. This is a country that needs dollar. If you sell it, if you sell that oil, if you sell the quantity we lost, this is July alone. If you sell it at the average price of $110, it will give you $2,450,000,000, which at our rate of exchange of 550, you lost. If you use 550, because I used an average of 550, you've lost 1,344,700,000,000 naira. That is your country. That's what you lost in 1 month because of stealing. It is important that we know this. Number two item to show that we are failed state is that you are no longer in control of your economy. Your economy today, we have an economy where we have over 100 million people living in poverty. Your unemployment is one of the worst in the world because you have a combined unemployment of 50%, unemployment and unemployment. Out of 200 million Nigerians, 60% is supposed to be working. So you're supposed to have 120 million Nigerians working, but today Nigerians that are working are under 50 million. So 70-something million of Nigerians are not working, they are not productive. When you compare this to your productivity, you will see how low it is. But what is even worse, we're in a physical mess, total physical mess. Because of all this, between January this year and April, the total revenue of federal government of Nigeria is 1,630,000,000,000 naira. Their expenditure is 4,720,000,000,000. If you minus this, we have a deficit of 3,100,000,000,000. That shows almost 20% to almost 200% is the deficit. And this is the crisis you face. come here is a cumulative effect of leadership failure over the years. Because it's 10%, I'll stop here. I would have talked about power. How did we come here? What are we going to do very quickly to come out of this? Very quickly, you need to have a visionary, articulated, competent leadership to start turning around this. So next year, the time is up. I'll take it there. Next year, the election you're going to have next year will not be about, remember, it is not about tribe, no religion, not connection, not entitlement. It must be election about character, competence, capacity, and commitment to deliver.